Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Hearthstone Major at PAX East, presented by One Nation of Gamers. My name is TJ. I'm joined once again by That's Admirable. We're about to jump into the grand finals. It's been 3 long days of Hearthstone, of card slinging, open tournament action, and we're finally about to see the conclusion. It is going to be Dakota taking on Astrogation. Admirable. I mean, Dakota's had quite a bit of a story. He's taken out the Rat. He's taken out Amnesiac. He took out Super JJ. Can he take out Astrogation? That is going to be the question.
Well, the other question to me is, what does everyone else do in this tournament? These two guys are in the finals with Druid, Mage, Warlock, and Warrior. Neither of them have lost a match. You know, just me, maybe? Maybe y'all should take some notes here. Maybe y'all have done it wrong. I don't really know. We have 2 different mages, though. Freeze Mage on one side, Tempo Mage on the other side.
Yeah.
We have Reno Handlock on one side, Zoolock on the other side.
Yeah.
We have a Warrior ban on one side, Druid ban on the other side. Obviously very different opinions about these classes, but neither of them have lost so far. But now one of them has to. And this is my favorite part of a tournament, where someone becomes a champion and somebody has to lose. Only one guy wins today. Everyone else in the tournament lost. And that's the guy you got to pay attention to.
Exactly. And, I mean, both these guys have sort of those different stories. Astrogation coming in as sort of he does play a lot of Hearthstone. He plays in a lot of opens. He's a guy that's trying to make a bigger name for himself. He's got some pretty good tournament performances, a tournament wins under his belt, but not that sort of premier breakout tournament victory or tournament performance. And I think this is the time for him to do it. His teammate on New Order Esports, Eversiction, has actually qualified already for the One Nation of Gamers 2016 Circuit Finals at PAX Prime. Will Astrogation join him? That's going to be the question. If he wins here, he does. Dakota is a player that, don't really know much about. I looked him up in between one of the breaks and saw his Twitch stream. It's a really small stream, and he doesn't even stream Hearthstone primarily. So it's really cool for him. He saw his intensity and his focus in the last couple of matches. After he beat Amnesiac, he looked completely stunned, and he didn't really know what to do afterwards. But a great story from him. Sort of the story of what the One Nation of Gamers circuit is all about. These players who want to just compete in tournaments and have their shot. And we might be seeing one of those competitive Hearthstone players being born in this tournament with Dakota and his performance. So we are going to move into game number 1 of the grand finals. It is going to be Astrogation throwing out the Zoo Warlock and Dakota throwing out his Reno Warlock.
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much hit the nail on the head with this one. Dakota has just had such tight play throughout his series so far. I mean, really very little criticism that you could possibly give to him at this point. I've said I've had some beef with the way this Reno Warlock deck is built, but it's been performing. And it's hard to argue with performances, especially if you came through this far in a single elimination bracket field like this. I mean, you're going to have to put up wins. And right off the bat, we're going to see one of the major differences between these two, Zoolock versus Reno Warlock.
Yeah. And Dakota went into the last match against Super JJ and won this matchup, but it was really close. And he had some really key draws in that matchup, having some of his AoE at the right time. He got to draw into Demon Wrath, Hellfire, and Shadow Flame in order to take that one. Right now, we don't see AoE. We do see Mind Control Tech, which can do wonders. But other than that, he doesn't have much that interacts with the board at the moment. And that's what he's going to need.
Imagine he's going to get some Mind Control Tech value this turn as well. Nerubian Egg and Voidwalk at the play for Astrogation puts a little bit of damage. And we're going to see what this Mind Control Tech takes. It's looking like all these targets are pretty darn good. And that's a good one.
No matter what he steals, that's a good one.
Yeah, I was going to say it regardless.
Yeah. And also he interrupts the Gormok turn from Astrogation. So, still some decent turns here for Astrogation. He can tap and then Abusive Sergeant and Power Overwhelming in order to clean the board and pop that egg.
Still missing quite a bit, though, given what we've seen so far. So Astrogation going to run over this Voidwalker, use the shield here to take care of that mind control attack, and crash in for 2 and have pretty significant amount of power on board. Dakota's going to need some help right here. I mean, I look at this board and I wonder, can I win without implosioning for 4? And Dakota sees it instantly, man. And that's a 4 from Dakota.
Doesn't even hesitate. Complete confidence in his ability.
Now,
I think most players would have implosioned something else in that situation. You go for the 2-2, you don't take your chances. But Dakota's thinking, you know what? He said, I'm the underdog going into this one. I'm going to embrace it, and I'm going to take some risks.
Now, from an Astrogation's perspective, that's not the worst thing in the world. He's got Voidwalker and Ruby Egg into Sea Giant to reload this board. Dakota's holding on to Big Game Hunter already, though. And it looks like Astrogation, isn't going to play Nerubian Egg, is going to play Sea Giant, does want to start weaving in taps at the moment, though. Here comes some trades on this board to simplify things just a little bit. Yep, keep that Voidwalker protected, and that Big Game Hunter is going to do some work here.
But Dakota does have a way to stop this. He's got Big Game Hunter. He also has Abusive Sergeant, so he can start trading up on this board and leaving his Big Game Hunter. The thing is, though, I still think this is the best play. His Big Game Hunter is going to get traded into, but you can't afford to.
Is going to present a bit of an issue here for Dakota. I mean, he does have Emperor Thorsog, which the discounts are big, but we're looking at 4 potential boombots hitting the board next turn, which is terrifying. I mean, if you've never seen the Dr. Boom brand turn, believe me, it is horrifying. And that's exactly what we're going to see. Astrogation has for Dakota. I mean, he does have Emperor Thorsog, which the discounts are big, but we're looking at 4 potential boombots hitting the board next turn, which is terrifying. I mean, if you've never seen the Dr. Boom brand turn, believe me, it is horrifying. And that's exactly what we're going to see. Astrogation has to be feeling good about his chances to win with 4 boombots.
He will leave Emperor Thorson on the board, though.
4 boombots.
4 boombots.
Are you listening to the words that are coming out of my mouth right now?
We always have to think about options. But when you're presented with the option of having 4 boombots on the board, I mean,
he's gonna Hellfire?
Yeah. If he Hellfires, he could be dead. Those boombots could go face for 16 damage.
I've seen it happen. I think when you have Bran, it like doubles the chance to hit 4s. I really do. Like, I've just never seen these boombots not be devastating in this spot.
Well,
we might be witnessing history here today.
What he can do is try and absorb some of these boombot hits with the Emperor Thorsan. Use Hellfire, concede the fact that there's going to be a 4/4 Nerubian on the board next turn, and Siphon Soul down the Dr. Boom. But he's going to go... Oh my goodness!
3, 4, 5... Only 7 damage. That's it. That's pretty well below average. I mean, the average you're going to get...
You kidding me?
The average yeah, exactly. The average you're going to get out of 4 boombots is 10 damage.
Well, Dakota still, I mean, the intensity in his eyes at the moment. He's still got a great shot to win this game.
Now just Gormok for the 4/4. I mean, not really any time to make sure this gets active. Just needs to have something on board to keep punching.
Mm-hmm. And this looks like a just flood the board turn.
Yeah, this is getting close to being just completely stopped in its tracks at this point.
I'm surprised he didn't play the Acidic Swamp Ooze.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised by that as well. I'm curious what the thought is behind that.
Saving it for the weapon.
So many of them come out of these Warlock decks. They're crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah, Sea Giant is pretty darn good. That will force Siphon Soul here from Dakota. I mean, unless he's feeling frisky with this Ragnaros. Which now actually, nope, that'd be bad.
No. Oh man. There's not any amount of frisk in the world that would make me play Ragnaros in that situation.
Now goes with the Acidic Swamp Ooze, though. Very interesting.
I'm curious what the thought process is behind that, but Lothep's going to come out. Now I think it's frisk or bust.
Yeah, let's go ahead and trade in. Well, at this point, he's just limited on his options. I mean,
yeah.
Just to get the extra 2 on board. Astrogation trying to get some sort of assault here. Hey, that ain't bad. Yep, just taunt it up.
Yeah, the thing is, the cards that he has in his hand are incredibly weak. He needs a Lothep here. That still means that his Ragnaros is protected, but Implosion's going to change that.
Does Astrogation have a BGH in his deck?
I don't think so.
So Implosion looking for that 4. 2 stings a bit. There's the trade up, and then 3 to face. We're still on that hope train, though. I mean, Dakota's resources have been pretty much depleted. Mortal Coil certainly a welcome draw at this point. Just anything to clear board and get some gas. And that's some gas.
That turns his Ancient Watcher into something useful. Jaraxxus!
Oh, jeez. Astrogation's going to need perfect draws to win this game. I mean, he needs to draw Leroy, he needs to draw Power Overwhelming, and he needs to draw it right now. Well,
Mono Creeper is not either of those.
Knife Juggler. We'll still have a little bit of extra time, though. I mean, being at 15, Dakota's not going to feel necessarily 100% comfortable just leaving Knife Juggler around. And Astrogation's actually going to hang on to it. Says he wants to fight this attrition battle. And that's going to leave things here. I mean, maybe Dakota gets greedy here. But I don't think you do. I think you slam the Jaraxxus and you get busy.
Yeah. The thing is, he's sort of giving up that draw engine, but I don't think it even matters now. He's got Demon Wrath. He knows that he has AoE. He's sort of putting Astrogation on like a 3-turn clock here.
Yep. It's actually a 2-turn clock after this one. So, like,
yeah, 3 turns.
Oh my god,
yeah.
Flame's dead.
Put this apple on your head.
I think that's it.
Yeah. He's going to trade in here just to try and solidify the board. And he's going to put some damage on. But this Demon Wrath is going to shut things down.
Yeah.
He's going to Demon Wrath. Oh no. Create a 6/6. The thing is, though, Flame Whip does not die. So there is an out in this situation. Oh no, he can't tap. He's not going to be able to tap. So there is no out.
So what did Dakota attack? Did he attack phase or did he attack the Flame Imp?
He had to have attacked the face. Yeah, you deny. You're taking that 3 damage regardless. You deny the tap in this situation 100%. And Power Overwhelming is drawn, but it's not going to be enough. And Dakota puts himself on the board once again, overcoming a Zoo Warlock with that Reno deck.
Yeah, I mean these are just some strong plays that Dakota has had the entire time. And what's crazy is that this deck has been performing so well. I mean, we haven't seen him drop. Have we seen him drop a game with this Reno Warlock build?
Not on stream, no. I mean, I was looking through his previous matchups, and he beat the Rat 3-1. Then he 3-0'd his next match, 3-2'd his next match. So he hasn't had the easiest road here. He has had some bumps along the way, but I mean he's taken out so many great players now. We talked about the Rat, we talked about Amnesiac, we talked about Super JJ in the semifinals just a moment ago. Lots of great players on the list of victims for Dakota's lineup here.
Yeah, but it doesn't look like it's getting shorter anytime soon. He's bringing the heat here to Astrogation. It's going to be Druid versus Zoolock of Astrogation. Dakota going to lead with Living Roots. And pretty slim for turns 2 and 3. Maybe a Savage Roar to initiate some trades if it comes to that. Like Astrogation's got some great opener here with this Dark Peddler.
Yeah, and Sea Giants can really tear through a Druid if you can build up a big enough board to get him out relatively early on. Dakota looks very stressed. Oh, man.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I don't blame him either. I mean, it's just so much is at stake in this match for him. 2 Flame Imps is... I mean, this might be a Savage Roar right here, honestly.
Savage Roar seems pretty clean. Yeah. I think that's... I mean, you don't like to use Savage Roar early on, but against this deck, it's all about the board. He's got Keeper rolling in the next turn. You're not feeling too comfortable because initiative is over on Astrogation's side, but you're feeling a lot more comfortable than you would have if you whiffed on turn 3.
He's also going to feel really good about this turn that Astrogation's about to have. And with 2 Sea Giants in his hand, he is definitely lacking in options at the moment.
Yeah, the old tap Ardent Squire. I mean, does Astrogation feel like he's under enough pressure? He might even just play his 1-drops because he's trying to set up for Defender of Argus next turn. And yeah, that's what he's going to do.
This is going to get Keeper of the Grove on one of these, I imagine. Ooh, Pilot Shredder's a great draw, though.
Yeah, I was going to say, maybe a tough choice, but Keeper of the Grove has so much use. Being able to silence an egg or a haunted creeper, it's got a lot more utility than what we're seeing here.
It's a bit of a window for Astrogation now. The question here is if he's going to trade or if he's going to try to take that window. Like, say Dakota doesn't have Keeper of the Grove or Living Roots or in his hand. I think it needs the damage. That's exactly what he's going to do, and that's going to be met with Keeper of the Grove or Druid of the Claw. I mean, just the options for Dakota at this point. So trade and Druid of the Claw is what it's going to be. Getting awfully close to those Sea Giant turns. I'm thinking Astrogation really needs Power Overwhelming here. I'll tell you what, that Defender of Argus ain't bad either.
Defender of Argus is great. Allows him to push through this Druid of the Claw this turn. And he's only losing 1 minion. He's taking 2 off the board, but...
That was a fantastic turn.
That Paladin should have dropped. Really just not working in Dakota's favor, though.
Yeah, silence to take 2 off the board. And just go ahead and Hero Power. Taking this one a little bit slow. At 21, there's a little bit of potential for him to maybe get pushed out of this game. And it is going to continue to build here. Sea Giant will be 4 mana this turn, so it's looking like Abusive Sergeant and Sea Giant, or maybe just Sea Giant, but I'm thinking this is the turn for Astrogation to begin the damage push.
Yeah, he can Abusive Sergeant, get a nice trade into the with the Defender of Argus into the Keeper of the Grove. He could also feel like he wants to preserve his Defender of Argus a little more than preserve 1/1s, which does play a little bit more around swipe. And that's exactly what he's going to do. So I like this a bit better. And yeah, okay, well there's swipe. So looks like Dakota's in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, it's looking really bad for him at this point. I mean, this is going to be a second Sea Giant if he doesn't pick up Big Game Hunter. Well, this is interesting now. Oh, what was that card? I didn't see that one.
Dark Peddler. So he can play the 1-drop and still play the Sea Giant.
Ooh, and it's an Ardent Squire. Anything to just stick to the board right now is good.
But swipe BGH?
Hey, I mean, he gets in 8 points of damage, occupying the whole turn. And, look, he's down to 9. So even in the face of swipe BGH here, he's still going to be under some pressure.
Yeah, there's still going to be 5 power on board.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to Power Overwhelming Leroy Jenkins. Both of those will end the game.
Yeah. A stiff breeze.
Minion and Cormac. That's going to do it. Astrogation's going to take game number 2 and tie this series at 1 game apiece.
Woo! All right, so Dakota is mortal. Astrogation has...
Blood has drawn from the cheek of Dakota. It's like that scene in 300 where he chucks that spear. That was a javelin too. So he chucks the spear. Yeah.
Failed him. Oh man. Well, that's gonna tie it up at 1-1. So we gotta set ourselves a series on our hands. Mage Warrior left for Astrogation. Mage Druid left for Dakota. And we are gonna move into game number 3. Warrior versus Druid.
Yeah, this is one I'm certain that Astrogation is not necessarily looking forward to. Now he is playing Patron Warrior, so that's the kind of matchup that can take games off Druid if it gets the right start. Armor Smith, not really the card you're looking for, but Unstable Ghoul into Acolyte of Pain is one of those great starts, as well as just picking up a Despite to go alongside a Grim Patron. Now he doesn't have either of those at the moment, but Dakota's start isn't the quickest either. He's got Living Roots, but if he chooses to do that, it'll be met by basically everything in Astrogation's hand at this point. Second Unstable Ghoul. I mean, these are the kinds of patron starts that I feel really nervous with. If I don't pick up any card draw, I feel like I don't really do anything, and I can fall out of the game.
Yeah. Also, if you don't pick up weapons, if you don't pick up Deathspite, it feels like you're just fighting an uphill battle. Warwind's pretty much dead at the moment. Could be pretty good once you go into patron turns. You know, the main way you win this matchup is either by, tempoing out the Druid and them drawing poorly, or just having patrons early on in the match.
Yeah, it's going to be super important that he picks up. I think Battle Rage is probably his best looking card at the moment.
Well,
just look at all the minions he's getting on board. I mean, it'd be so easy to get 4 cards off of Battle Rage.
Yeah, this is just annoying.
Dang it.
When I'm faced with this board, I'm just like, oh, God. It's going to be one of these types of matches.
I can't believe it.
I would have conceded. It's too much armor.
0-2 for TJ at this point.
Yeah.
Well, Despite certainly a welcome draw here.
Probably one of the best draws. The thing is, he just doesn't have much to couple with it. But look at all that armor. It gave one up, okay. Really wants to keep that whirlwind effect around.
I think I like having the Unstable Ghoul a little bit more. Like, I don't think the life total is as important as just being able to do the right thing if you draw the right card. And I think this is a good plan from Astrogation. Like, when your hand is this weak, this is a good lesson to learn. Like, when your hand is this weak, you're going to have to draw some spectacular cards. And so set up to draw those cards. Don't do it the other way around where you're trying to live a little bit longer unless you need to live a little. But here, say this Unstable Ghoul just lived. He'd be able to draw a patron sometimes and then get 4 patrons, which is a really big deal in this situation. Second Dread Corsair, not too good. But still, just anything to put on board, I think, is going to help right now.
Okay, he's going to play it very patiently.
Yeah, I mean, he needs this Despite. He needs the Despite. Very, very smart play here from Astrogation. You know, it always feels bad giving up an Execute in a spot where you don't necessarily have to, especially when you're not really making progress with it. But he's building towards that one big turn. He either wants to get off a big Battle Rage, or he wants to get Grim Patrons.
Yeah, but Dakota, he's starting to fight back here. And he is going to get a full board clear. And this is smart. He's getting rid of the possibility of a Battle Rage. Drawing lots of cards. And a second Whirlwind!
Oh gosh. I mean, I don't even know if Astrogation could win from this point. That was the worst draw in the deck. I mean, there's a couple of them at this point, though. This is, where Patron suffers when he doesn't get card draw. That Inner Rage would have been ugly here as well.
Well, if he draws Patron this turn, he could Despite Swing, Whirlwind, clear the board, and have a full board of patrons.
This is it.
Nearly a full board of patrons. Has to be right now. He's brave!
Right now.
He can still get it. He can get one at least.
Yeah, it actually would still be a full clear.
Oh, and you see him roll his eyes, so we know that's not what he wants. And it's a Death's Bite. Or sorry, it's a Fiery War Axe. And he already has a Death's Bite equipped.
It's looking bad. I mean, he's definitely gonna eat some damage here.
This is so tense. In this moment, when you're in the grand finals of a tournament like this, when so much is on the line, thinking of risk-reward scenarios is just so hard. Thinking of how much you need to hold on to things, being patient it's so hard, especially against Druid. And it looks like he's just not going to be able to wait anymore. Oh, he's just going to go with the halfway measure?
Could be trying to deny Force Nature Savage Roar if that's the exact hand range he has.
Yeah.
And try to get the Grid Patrons off before he suffers too much damage.
He does have one more turn before he can still remove the Shade with the second Whirlwind.
Yeah. This is, oh my. This is it. It's got to be now.
Ah. Probably Berserker.
This is the point where Astrogation is going to fall way far behind and into a nigh unrecoverable position. I mean, Dakota doesn't have combo just yet, but he's just got basically everything else.
Yeah, this is the point where I concede.
0-3 for TJ.
I go to my collection. I'm like, did I take Grim Patrons out? And then I look at my patron deck, and I'm just like, nope, didn't.
Yep.
Didn't draw them.
Yep, did.
Yeah, but I mean, Astrogation hasn't even been through that large of a percentage of his deck. He didn't cycle at all early on. No Battle Rage, no Acolytes of Pains. So, I mean, it's actually it's not super likely that he even draws patrons on that turn. He doesn't really have a choice. He just has to hope that's going to be the case. And this is going to be met with a big Game Hunter. But Astrogation doesn't have a choice. He just sort of has to go all in on it. And, I mean, this looks like this game is all Dakotas.
I mean, I don't know how he's climbing out of this. Kill your thing, make a big thing, go.
Yeah. I mean, I would have just expected Dr. Boom there. Innovate's not getting any better.
Yeah, I don't think it matters much what order he plays it in.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. He just used all the whirlwinds.
That just is how Patron usually feels. Is you just eventually you just get impatient and you just throw it all out there, and then the next turn is when you draw the Patron, the next turn is when you draw the Battle Rage, the next turn is when you draw the Acolyte of Pain, and sometimes that's just how it is.
Yeah, I mean, I feel for Astrogation in this game, but Dakota has still been playing well. This guy has not slipped up. Yeah, that's going to be a scoop for Astrogation. It is 2-1 Dakota now, who's on match point. And this is it. I mean, this guy has not lost a match the entire tournament so far. The winner of this tournament just pure undefeated.
Yeah, it is a single elimination tournament, which is, it's one of the tougher ones to make it through. It's very volatile. And these two players proved themselves so far. Dakota now has two opportunities to win with the Temple Mage. He's either got to do it against Freeze Mage or he's got to do it against Patron Warrior. Can he pull it together?
We saw this matchup a little bit earlier today. Tempo Mage versus Freeze Mage is all about that early game snowball. If you can stick a presence to the board and get a little bit of a push, it looks like the easiest match in the world when that happens. The problem is that doesn't happen very often, especially not against the Torch versions, who have a little bit more disruption than normal. Now, against Patron, you're kind of looking to do the same thing. The difference is Patron has a little bit more disruption than normal Freeze Mages have.
Yeah. And starting off with the Fiery War Axe, of course, definitely the start that you want to have. And Dakota was definitely hoping that wasn't going to be the case. The matchup can be tough, and lots of patience to hold on to the Sorcerer's Apprentice here. Eventually, you're going to have to throw something into that Fiery War Axe, but Dakota's going to be hoping that it's going to be something other than an important card like Sorcerer's Apprentice.
I'm looking like it's going to be tough, though. I mean, he's already facing down a little bit of pressure. Acolyte of Pain or Frothy Berserker's about to get added behind this. Just Arcane Intellect, and his hand's kind of shaping up nicely, But Astrogation is not going to stumble. He's just going to keep playing threat after threat. And this may force Dakota's hand a little bit sooner than he'd like it to. Piloted Shredder will help, but this almost plays right into Astrogation's hand. It is so good right now.
Yeah.
Oh my. This is the other side of the Grim Patron, is where they actually do have stuff to do early. And it lines up very well, and it's very difficult to lose after that happens.
That's not the best drop for Astrogation, because you can't ignore it. And he was hoping for something where he could, maybe trade in with the Dread Corsair, keep it alive, and Battle Rage for some extra cards. But now he has to attack into this, and he either has to put his Froth and Berserker down to 1, or give up his Dread Corsair. And it looks like he's going to go for Battle Rage value.
A little surprised he doesn't go with the Acolyte of Pain here, considering that Flamewaker looks a lot worse if you have Acolyte of Pain on board.
Mm-hmm.
Second Fireball gets picked up. Yeah, nice cleanup here from Dakota.
Yeah. But, I mean, look at this hand from Astrogation. That hand pretty much just spells GG. If that hand was letters of the alphabet, it would just be a bunch of G's in a row.
Maybe? No.
Yeah.
No. It's not going to work. Arcane Blasts are going to be pretty darn close to dead. Well, buckle in, boys. This is 6 Grim Patrons.
Yeah.
I wonder if Astrogation's actually are fearing Flame Strike here. That's something where Dakota, being an unknown player to Astrogation, may have a little bit of an edge. But I'll tell you what, with the way that he's played so far, I'm like, there's no way this guy's going to have Flame Strike. He's smarter than that. And it looks like, doesn't really matter the way this is created first. Yep, just 6 Grim Patrons, go ahead.
Yep. Well, Dakota does have a lot of spot removal. But not nearly enough spot removal. He can Arcane Blast, Ping, and then next turn, Fireball. And he's dealt with 5 patrons.
Actually, the Adric is kind of interesting, because if you Adric, he can actually clear off 2 of the big health patrons.
Yeah.
Not gonna go for that turn. Like the Lothep here, just eat the damage and try to recover.
Yeah. But still, though, really far behind. And a Grom Hellscream picked up. It's going to be a little bit of extra oomph for Astrogation as this game is going to go on. And he's going to push 12 the damage.
Yeah, this one's donezo. I'm trying to find a way out of this one, and it ain't here.
Yeah. There's not even a miracle that can happen with the Pilot of Shredder.
Maybe he's got that Frost Nova attack. I put a Frost Nova in Tempo Mage once.
Yeah, how'd that work out for you?
It actually worked out surprisingly well. I kept it in there for a very long time.
Probably just forgot about it.
Yep.
You had one card left. You're like, what do I have left? I think it's an Archmage Tinnitus. Oh, wait. It's a Frost Nova.
I actually got Archmage Tinnitus.
Yeah, I know. Well, Unstable Portal.
He could still actually stay alive this turn. Fireball Flame Cannon. He's going to 3, but I'll tell you what, he's not dead. He doesn't have anything, but he's not dead.
In the grand finals of a tournament, you're doing everything that you can to stay alive, especially if you're playing Tempo Mage, because Unstable Portal can do some nutso things. All of a sudden, you pick up a Major Domo Executus, and you can trade it in. You're in good shape.
And if you don't Major Domo, they're going to go-go.
Yeah.
Yeah, no help here, though. This game has finally been wrapped up. If Dakota can find a way to live this turn,
He's
Other than
technically
just-
not dead. He can Flame Waker, Fireball the Patron, Arcane Missiles,
yeah, that's
and then hopefully take off one more thing.
perfect.
Perfect play coming out from Dakota, keeping himself alive. Yeah, okay, now he's dead. All right,
Oh,
and
still got
that
two Flamewaker shots. Oh,
no, he's not dead, but he's just going to go ahead and concede anyway. And that means we're going to a game number 5. It's all going to come down to this. The final matchup's going to be Tempo Mage versus Freeze Mage.
I wouldn't have it any other way. 5-game set between the two undefeated players, a Mage Mirror, 2 different Mage decks, and a relatively known player versus a virtually completely unknown player as far as the streaming community is concerned.
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, you looked at Dakota's stream. He was streaming mostly Overwatch. And Astrogation, I know this guy has been really busy playing a lot of cards, but this is like one of his moments to shine right here. This win means Weekend of Hearthstone. This is where it counts. Dakota has a copy of Lotheb in his deck, and that's something that could be critical this match. And he draws 2 Arcane Blast early, which looks a little bit ugly. He's also got a copy of Counterspell, so the other half of that Mad Scientist, is Mirror Entity, of course, which could be a liability, but the Counterspell, a timely one of those, could mean a world of difference.
Yeah, the way his Tempo Mage is built gives him an advantage over the standard Tempo Mage. Or, I mean, I guess this is sort of running towards standard. There are some that run Duplicate, but he does run Counterspell plus Mirror Entity, and of course that Lotheb, like you mentioned. We saw Dakota take out Freeze Mage. One of his series today, we've seen him go into this matchup and take the win.
Yep. So, just going to be a secret here from Astrogation. Oh, jeez. Whoa! Dakota snap plays the Mirror Entity.
That's bizarre.
It's actually kind of a good bluff, because Astrogation knows there's no way he's just going to play Mirror Entity. So it takes away his ability to play Acolyte here, but unknown to Astrogation. He's got to think that this is Counterspell.
Is it a bluff though?
This is 100% a bluff. Dakota has played so good up to this point. There's no way he's jamming a Mirror Entity into a Freeze Mage for value here. This is a bluff. And Astrogation says, I guess that means the other secret's Mirror Entity. So he's going to take his time to ping off this Mad Scientist and then try to proc it for the Doomsayer. So he does open up a window to get punished by this. And since he didn't see a Doomsayer, I think that Dakota thinks there is no Doomsayer.
Wow. Well, I mean, if this is Astrogation's plan, he's going to ping off this Mad Scientist and go with the Doomsayer. Maybe he thinks that he can get a little bit away a little bit more with waiting, but I mean, Dakota has to know, since he pinged the Mad Scientist last turn, that that's going to be Astrogation's plan. Because is he going to play a minion? Like, I mean, is this bluff going to work? No, there's no way.
No, Astrogation just decided to be patient and pull out the second secret and then do this. So he sees the Mirror Entity, and if Astrogation pays attention, he sees the Mirror Entity was the first one. I don't think it's what he's looking at right now.
Yeah.
Just rip the board. Oh, that's a great draw.
Yeah, especially since, I mean, there are so many crucial things that he can pick up. Well,
yeah, none of these are particularly exciting.
I mean, you could polymorph an Acolyte of Pain or a Mad Scientist, but Arcane Missiles with Flame Waker turns into 5 damage.
Take the bait.
Yeah.
Astrogation should be aware that Counterspell's down. I believe he's encountered it already, and if not, he's certainly seen it. Yep. Lead with the Ice Lance is the indicator of that, so this will be Novice Engineer and Forgotten Torch on Ethereal Conjurer. Nicely done by him. The patience from Astrogation in this game actually made quite a big difference here, I think. Just getting the extra information and then being able to waste the counterspell from Dakota, I think meant a lot. Dr. Boom.
A Flame Waker, though, unlocks this hand so
Wow.
much.
Just Roaring Torch right off the top. So, Dr. Boom was answered with the Fireball prior to this, but I'm thinking Acolyte of Pain looks pretty good here if you're in an Astrogation spot. You know, just Fireball the Dr. Boom, run the Novice Engineer into it, and drop the Acolyte of Pain.
Yeah.
Let the pain speak to me.
So moving to the next couple turns.
Wow, this one's
Fireball and
interesting.
Fireball and Frostbolt are the pieces of bread. Arcane Missiles is the peanut butter. And Flame Waker's the fluffernutter.
I don't know what that is.
Just tie it all together. You don't know what that is? What the heck?
I've never heard of that.
Time runs out on me.
Man.
What is Fluffernutter?
It's a puffy marshmallow spread.
That makes a lot of sense.
He drew the fluffernutter!
Is he gonna play it?
I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, he can wait. Fluffernutter is good in the morning, at lunchtime, or for dinner.
We're going deep on the marshmallow here.
I mean, that is so much damage. That is so much damage.
No, it's only 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. It's only 18 damage. Big deal. So
How
we
much
can
health
pop
does
the ice
Astrogation
block.
have?
Let me...
He even has...
yeah, 18.
Oh, man.
That's a lot of damage in Astrogation's hand. And
That is so much burn for both players. I mean,
now,
this is going to come
Dakota does
to
need
it.
Dakota needs the mana to do all this, too. This doesn't just happen. He's got to be able to cast these spells. We're not in Twitch chat.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, man. So, next turn, he could fit in Frostbolt, Arcane Missiles, and a Ping. He could also Arcane Blast, but if he's Arcane Blasting a minion, it's only 1 extra damage than the Ping. But is he going to go for it? Both secrets up for Astrogation. Is he going to go ahead and Ping face? So he might be on the burn plan here. He doesn't have second block. You know, how much damage is this going to be?
I think he's got to be on the burn plan at this point. I mean, look at what he just did.
Gorgon Elite!
Yeah, damage is going to pour on at this point.
Boombot for 2. He's going to negate, and he wants to save the Flame Waker plus the spells for when his board is frozen. I think you want to get the immediate damage of the Gorgon Elite in now. And he might even just Fireball. I mean, you have to sort of calculate and set up for that 2-turn block pop, but it looks like he's just going to ping down and attack in. So 11 health Astrogation is down to now, with just 1 block left.
Astrogation to deal 12, 13 damage this turn, then 10 damage the turn after. So he's 5 damage short of actually killing this. His ice block is getting popped this turn. I'm going to guess that Frost Nova may be on his radar at the moment. Yep. Roaring Torch, Forgotten Torch. Like this as well, get the other copy of Roaring Torch in your build. Or, I'm sorry, in your deck. And try to draw it. It needs to be done right now. So Dakota can respond. Oh, that's going to be a block pop.
That is so much damage. I don't think Astrogation's going to have enough. And he's going to make sure that he pops at 1. This is a clean way to do it. He's got Flame Waker. He even just has Ping. And Astrogation just looks like he lets out a sigh because he knows that his hopes are slipping away right now.
Yeah,
and Dakota has this match in his sights.
Chances are slim.
He needs an ice block.
Yeah, because, I mean, it's got to be Arcane Intellect right here. There's no option. And he needs to draw perfect. Like, actually perfect.
There's ice block.
Doomsayer.
So you ice block and then Fireball, but what do you pick up? You ice block Fireball, you bring him down to 13.
Roaring Torch.
Which means you can Roaring Torch plus Ping next turn.
Wow.
Is that what it's going to come down to?
That's what it's come down to. I mean, he has to draw the burn. He doesn't have an option. So here's the fireball. And this is it. I mean, Dakota's popping the block this turn and saying go. Fate is going to decide whether or not Astrogation is going to win this series or if Dakota's going to win right here. This is Fire Blast. Sure, Azure Drake, why not? Go ahead. None of that matters. It is this draw and this draw only for Astrogation. That's not it.
And
that's going to do it.
I think that means Dakota is going to win. I don't see any way out of this one for Astrogation.
That's exactly what it does mean. There's no card draw, there's no life gain, and there's the concede. Dakota stands up and celebrates. What a fantastic performance from Dakota. Honestly, this guy played such good Hearthstone this weekend. And look at him, he can't believe it. He's looking around like, this has got to be a dream. This can't be real. I came to PAX. I won the Hearthstone Major here. What is going on?
What a performance. Dakota takes the Hearthstone Major at PAX East. I mean, look at the lineup of players that compete in this tournament. Amaz, Amnesiac, Fireback, Kalento, Nasum, Orange, Raynat, Strifecrow, Super JJ, Trump, VLPS Delay. And at the end of it all, Dakota stands on top. $4,000 and 15 Hearthstone Championship Tour points. If he wasn't planning on trying to compete in the spring prelims, he has to be trying now. But what a performance from Dakota. Interesting decks, great play across the matches that we saw from him. Really excited to see him as the winner.
Yeah, but I mean, look, I mean, you pretty much hit the nail on the head there. If he wasn't looking at playing, probably is now.
Yeah.
At this point, but you can't take anything away from Astrogation. He found himself in a lot of tough spots this weekend, and when his back was against the wall, and it all mattered, and he had to make the right play and take the right risks, Astrogation took all of them. He really spotted what his chances were to win and maximized them at every opportunity. You got to give it to Astrogation on his performance here too. First loss is in the grand finals of the event.
Yeah. It's. I mean, he's got to feel a little bit proud. I know we talked about it earlier. It's going to sting for the first couple days, maybe even the first couple weeks, but he's going to look back on this and say, you know what, I took second at a big open major tournament. And, he's going to go away with $2,000 as well, 10 Hearthstone Championship Tour points for him. So I know he's a player that has a lot of high ladder finishes. He's a player we've seen it in the ONOG circuit. He's got 18 GEICO points right now, which is a good amount for him to start going to PAX Prime. And also, one thing that we haven't mentioned thus far, Dakota, this means he secures a spot at the One Nation of Gamers 2016 circuit grand finals at PAX Prime. So he's got a chance to get a cut of $25,000 there too. This opens up so many opportunities for this relatively unknown player, probably definitively unknown player.
Yeah, I mean, I had never seen the name coming into this event, but you put your name on the map with one step at a time. The ONOG series that's been running all year long, and you guys can be up there too, competing and making sure that you have a chance to stamp your name on the scene as well.
Yeah, of course. We still have 6 opens left for the 2016 circuit, and the next one is going to be on April 30th. So in just a week, if you want a chance to sort of make a name for yourself, get some tournament experience, and have a chance to play on the big stage, then make sure you go ahead and sign up for that tournament. You can head to geico.onenationofgamers or geico.onog.gg, and right at the top right, the sign up button. You can sign up for that tournament and compete. We also have the feature tournaments left throughout the year. 3 of those, of course, the opens do lead into the feature tournaments. And, of course, those feature tournaments have 4 invited players, 4 qualified players, $6,000 prize pool for those, and they lead into that grand finals that we've been talking about. So if you want your chance, I mean, Dakota is a player who sort of came out of nowhere. And that's the sort of thing. If you want your chance to be like that and participate in these opens, that's what the One Nation of Gamers Circuit is all about. Make sure you go over there and sign up. Of course, Standard's released in 2 days, so it's going to be a great way to sort of get your feet wet with Standard tournament mode, especially if you have that previous card game experience. But it's going to be great. I know That's Admirable won't be able to compete this weekend, but he has competed in the past, and it's usually a blast. I love playing in those things.
Yeah, I mean, they're always fun to play in. I mean, just anytime I get a chance to play in a tournament, it's usually something I want to take. I don't sign up for every single open. I'm a busy guy, streaming 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific. 5 days a week unless I'm traveling or competing in something. Hashtag sellout. Check me out. But it's been a blast. I got a busy schedule coming up. Can't wait to see what else is on the horizon. Hopefully this is a really good opportunity for Dakota to maybe make something of this if that's what he wants to do. Sometimes people just come to these events and they want to compete. I've had friends that have won big tournaments before and then really never stepped into the scene. It was just they wanted to play a tournament that weekend. So would really like to hear more from this guy at every opportunity I could. But man, I'm just such great Hearthstone that we see this weekend. TJ, we have seen some legendary matches.
Yeah, I definitely say so. It's been great fun. It's been a really long weekend, but one that I'm definitely proud to say that I've casted because it was a lot of interesting and fun matches. We do want to take this opportunity to thank some of the people that make this possible. Of course, GEICO Gaming and the Video Game Voters Network for coming along for the ride with us in the 2016 circuit and helping make it possible. Also, of course, CyberPower PC still doing that giveaway. So head on over to the website or click the banner below if you want to enter in to win that Gamer Extreme 1000 PC. And, of course, DX Racer, Razer, and Asus Republic of Gamers for helping us out on the hardware side of PAX East. But, Admirable, man, I think that wraps it up. It's been a blast casting with you over the course of the weekend. Do you have any closing thoughts before I wrap it up and send everybody home?
Just a big congratulations to everyone who came out for this weekend and picked up a little bit of cash in their pocket. Obviously, a big congratulations for Dakota to taking this down. Thanks to everyone who watched this event and helped make this possible. If it wasn't for the support of y'all, there'd be no reason to do these productions. So truly, a big thanks to everyone who participated and watched some of this event. And I hope you can enjoy ones in the future as well with us.
Yeah, very well said. Keep engaged on social media as well if you want to keep talking about the matches. I know it's been exciting. There's been a lot of great moments. If you didn't get a chance to catch the whole tournament, make sure you watch the VODs. But that's going to do it for myself, from That's Admirable, from everybody at One Nation of Gamers, and, of course, GEICO Gaming. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time.